Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So this is the third part of the video. The title of the article is Safety of Life at Sea or SOLAS, the ultimate guide. SOLAS Chapter 3, Life-Saving Appliances and Arrangement. All the life-saving appliances and their use in the different situations according to the ship type are described in this chapter. This chapter comprises three parts. Part A contains 5 regulations that explains the applications of this chapter in different types of ship, along with the definitions of different terminology which is used in the chapter. The regulations may not apply to all kinds of vessels, hence a separate sections for exceptions and exemptions is also provided. Further, on-board testing and production testing procedure are also explained. Part B comprises a total of 32 regulations from regulations number 6 to 37, dealing with the requirement of life-saving appliances on passengers and cargo ships. Regulation 6 describes the communications appliance radio pyrotechnic used for safety and life-saving situations on vessel. Regulation 7 lists the requirement for personal life-saving appliances such as life jackets, life buoys, immersion seats, etc. Regulation 8 to Regulation 11 contains the instructions on muster citation, survival craft operation and men and their embarkation arrangements explaining the different requirements. Regulation 12 explicitly addresses the locations of survival craft in a cargo ship other than free fall lifeboat. Regulation 13 to 17 detail the stowage and necessary arrangement required for the lifeboat, lifeguard, marine evacuation system, recovery boat, and on the ship and men of overport operation. Regulation 18 lists the requirement for line throwing appliances used on the ship. Regulation 19 deals with the various training and drill requirements for the onboard crew. Regulation 20 applies to all the ship for operational red lines, maintenance and survey requirements on survival craft and other life-saving appliances on board the ship. Regulation 21 to Regulation 30 tell about the additional requirement for passenger ship about survival craft and life-saving and all life-saving appliances on the passenger ships, including drills for passenger on board ship and helicopter operations in a passenger ship. Ro-ro passenger ships of 130 meters in length should be provided with a helicopter landing area. Regulation 31 to Regulation 34 tells about the additional requirement for cargo ship. For cargo ships about survival craft and all life-saving appliances on the ship. Regulation 35 to 37 contains various instructions for onboard maintenance, master list, etc., and the availability of training manual and other onboard training aids on the ship. Part C in this chapter details the alternative design and arrangement for the ship's life-saving appliances under the Regulation 38. SOLAS Chapter 4, Radio Communication. This chapter includes requirement of different radio communication equipment used on board ship, such as GMDSS, SART, EPI, RB, and etc. For cargo and passengers vessel, this chapter is divided into 3 parts, Part A, Part B, and Part C. Part A contains regulations 1 to 4, which explain the applications of this chapter. The rules also explain the definitions of different terminology used in the chapter and the objective and function requirement of the chapter. Further, it includes the exemptional provision and the detail of GDMSS satellite providers. Part B consisted of Regulations 5 explaining the provisions of radio communication services and the identities of GMDSS by the contracting government. Part C insists on the ship-based requirement for the radio equipment and comprises 13 regulations. Regulation 6 details radio installation requirement on all types of ships. Regulation 7 details different radio equipment minimum requirement to be used on ship. Regulation 8 to 11 detail radio installation capability to initial ship-to-shore communication and alert in sea areas A1, A2, A3, and A4. Regulation 12 lists down the additional duties of the officer on radio communication equipment during a watch. Regulation 13 details the energy source for all the radio communication equipment, including emergency, reserve source of power, and battery saver. Regulations 14 and 15 gives the detail of performance standard and maintenance required to be carried out on radio communication equipment. And then Regulation 16, Regulation 17, and Regulation 18 provide the needs for radio personnel qualification and different record and logs which needs to be updated in the ship log system. So for the SOLAS chapter 5, SOLAS chapter 6, SOLAS chapter 7, SOLAS chapter 8, SOLAS chapter 9, SOLAS chapter 10, and then SOLAS chapter 12, SOLAS chapter 13 and the last is SOLAS chapter 14 will be details on the next video. So bye bye and see you on the next part of the video. Bye.